Time for us to head to the voicemail of Truth and Reason. This one about Jarvis Landry.
I was just wondering about the cap hit that they would take if we kept Landry. And do you think we should keep Landry as a safety valve for Baker Mayfield? And how much would it affect the cap? And what can we do with the money if we were to let Landry go?
All right, so let's take a look at this. And again, it's a large salary figure for the final year. This would be from Pro Football Focus. The cap savings would be $14.879 million and some change. You would only take a $1.5 million cap hit because his total salary is $16.3 million. There are other cap candidates. Austin Hooper, Case Keenum, those would save some money as well if the Browns decided to cut them. But specifically to Jarvis Landry, if you can extend him at a lower dollar figure, maybe get him more guaranteed money over 2 or 3 years, I would absolutely do it. I don't know that you can tie up $16 million. I don't know that certainly you can. I don't know it's wise to tie up $16+ million for a guy that doesn't play outside. And what could you do with the cap savings? You could spend it on a number one that plays outside or on an edge rusher to be complementary to Myles Garrett. Those would be the two areas. Just your thoughts.
Yeah, I think obviously, if you're going to bring Jarvis, you got to bring him back at a lower amount because this team needs to get more dynamic at the receiver position in terms of explosiveness, in terms of guys who can stretch the field, make things happen after the catch. And Jarvis Landry has been a very reliable receiver. He's just not a big play guy. He's a guy that you can get the ball to a ton of times. He'll rack up some yards. He'll keep drives going, and that's Jarvis Landry's game. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. He's made a very nice career out of that. But if the Browns choose to move him, almost $15 million, you can obviously turn around and use that money to re-sign Jadeveon Clowney to have that to keep him around for a few years, 4 to 5 year 1-2 punch a defensive end, and really be able to continue doing those things that you were able to do if you're the Browns with Myles and Jadeveon together. It just comes down to spending money at the position. We've talked about the overhauling of the receiver room, how that needs to happen, that needs to be a thing. And it's not even just Jarvis's money. I mean, I was doing the math myself with Case Keenum. If the Browns move on from him, that's about $7.1 million of cap savings if they move on from him. And Austin Hooper is going to be the interesting one as well. I mean, after June 1st, you're talking about a cap savings from $2 million if the Browns move on from him before June 1st to $9.5 million after June 1st. So there's going to be some tough decisions to make for the Browns, but it's just going to come down to how they feel they can shape the receiver room. Can they be more dynamic? And what precedence does that take over making sure you have a good number 2 guy opposite Myles Garrett? Those are tough decisions to make, but those are the ones the Browns got to make if they want to kind of stay where they are and try and get back to the playoffs, among other decisions they have to make.
And before we go to break, let's be clear about this. Jarvis Landry is an outstanding blocker, a good guy in the locker room, has been one of the guys that has helped change the culture. So he's not a problem. The question is, and he says he wants to be here. If he wants to be here and they can make it work financially, I'm guessing the Browns will find a way to do it. But again, it can't be at a $16 million a year cap figure.